welcome to my Facebook Live. It is January 1st, so Happy New Year to everybody. And this will obviously be my very first Facebook Live 2021. Hoping that this year will bring us some more happiness and some resolution with all the things that have happened in 2020. But hope your evening celebrations were spent with some family. Obviously, at least where we are, you can't spend it with friends, but hoping that you had a good time and welcomed in the new year respectfully. I did not, however, make it that long, so I welcomed in the new year at 7 o'clock this morning. But anyway, I have a fancy fold for you today, using some new product that will be available for you to purchase on the 5th of January. And I'm going to be using the art gallery or stamp set, which is part of the Fine Art Floral bundle. So shall we get to this right away here? Just let me turn my camera down and we will get going here. Oh, sorry, my arms are really stiff this morning. What's going on here? Okay, we're mostly kind of sort of centered. Kind of sort of. This is always a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so here is the bundle that is available in the Fine Art Floral Suite. So beautiful 2 and 3 step stamping stamp set, and a set of dies that will cut out most of the images, plus some additional ones. I am not using the dies today, so I'm just going to put those off to the side. We are going to use the stamp set, and we are going to create this beautiful card. Let me hold it like this so that you can actually see it, because looking straight down on it's not going to make a lot of sense. So I've used the paper from the suite, I've used the stamp set here and here, and then there's a little secret inside. This is happy birthday, and this card can actually fold up, so it'll all fold down and fit in a small envelope. How fun is that? Okay, so let's get started. Now you'll need a trimmer and something that can score in order to be happy with your results on this. So let me bring in my Stampin' Trimmer. So remember, the light color blade is your scoring blade and the dark one is your cutting blade. We won't need to do any cutting. I've done that already. No, that's not quite true. We have one little cut to make. So this is an 8 by 8 inch piece of Poppy Parade paper. And sorry, here we go again. Good old Facebook is not letting me know what's going on. It's not telling me I'm live. I hope I'm live. I can't see your comments if you're on. Makes me a little crazy. Doesn't take much to make me crazy. There we go. Happy New Year to everybody. And this will obviously be my year. And sorry, here we go again. Good old Facebook is not. Sorry. And I forgot to turn the sound off. Okay, we're good now. So I have an 8 by 8 inch piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, and I am going to set it at 4 inches. And I'm going to take my cutting blade down, and I don't know if you can see this, but this has a ruler on it. And I'm going to set it down at 4 inches and cut straight up. Then I'm going to take my score blade and score the rest. I'm going to turn it a quarter turn and score all the way through. Okay, let me cover that over. I created this cut by setting my blade at 4 inches and cutting up, and then I scored the rest of the piece. Then I turned it 90 degrees and scored all the way through. I'm going to turn it over, and that if you need to fold it just to make it a little easier to see, the center point of that score line opposite of the cut edge, whoops, down to the score line on the horizontal, I want to match those up in my track here on my trimmer. And I'm going to take the score blade and I'm going to score those. Score it really good. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. So again, from the horizontal line to the top. Oops, you just about did it backwards. Top. Gosh. So here's the cut edge. So we want to go from here to here. We're working from the center point of the score that was cut partway through. If that makes any sense at all. So you line that point up in the track, and then you bring in your score. Okay, that's all we need the score for, the score and trimmer for. Now, the reason that I turned it, in case you don't remember or you don't know, you always want to fold your cardstock. The indent is the outside. So we're going to fold these two flaps that we did, and we're going to burnish them. You're going to want to burnish this really, really good in order for it to sit the way you want it to. And then these two will fold up and burnish. These are the ones that can really cause you grief, and you may come back and re-burnish them a couple of times while you're putting your card together. I'm not really sure. I know it has a name. I don't know what it is. I did my first one of these about a year ago. So that's the base of your card, and what's going to happen is it's going to fold like that. And I'll see what I mean about it. That's why you're going to want to burnish these edges really good to get it to sit nice and flat like that. Okay, so it's just, oh, and I lied. We are not done with the trimmer. So I have 3 pieces of the Designer Series paper from the suite. This is the Art Gallery paper. I'm going to use 2 of this side and 1 of this side, so I kind of decide which ones I prefer. This one I'm going to leave intact and I'm going to turn it over. But these 2 I'm going to cut on the diagonal. So like we did with the scoring, we will cut point to point. Oh, hello, Kristen. Happy New Year. When you cut that, make sure you keep those 2 pieces together because you're going to want to try and line up your pattern. And then we'll do the other one that way as well. And keep those together. Now I think we're done with this. So we will start by doing some simple gluing. So we'll take our first pair that we cut apart and we're going to attach them here. It is actually not that difficult. The trick is getting your score lines really crisp so that it stands up properly. I don't remember. Oh, jeez, I can't glue straight today. And gee, I was a good girl last night. I didn't do much. Watched a Hallmark movie and went to bed at 10 o'clock. All right, that's better. So this way, by keeping your pieces that you cut apart together, your pattern will carry across. See how the leaf there carries across? And then we'll do the same with the other 2 like this. So see, the pattern will carry across. Now, if you had a less busy paper, you could actually decorate these flaps as well. I did not on this one, but I have a sample from one I did last year that I'll show you where I also did that once we've got this one done. So see how the pattern carries across. There. So that's going to be our little flaps, and this is kind of our mechanism. And again, you just have to keep working that fold to get it to stay together. The piece that I use the opposite side for goes right here. So these were 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. They're all the same size, all three of them. Okay, so that's the base of the card is basically done. Now we have a few little things to do. So inside, I had a happy birthday greeting, so I have a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece of Whisper White, which is right here. And we might as well stamp that. So I'm using Petal Pink and Poppy Parade ink, as well as Mossy Meadow today. So this flower that I did on the inside, so I did it on an angle. That's entirely up to you whether you wanted to do it that way. And I'm using this image from the stamp set. And I'm also not going to go full strength because this is going in an area where I would probably want to write a message. So I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to add it to the bottom. Now in the stamp set is this little guy, which we'll use again, but it kind of complements this one, and I'm going to go on here at full strength and add a second dimension. It's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be perfect because it's supposed to have a watercolor look to it. And then I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday in Poppy Parade. Right side up would be good. I'm just going to put that there. And so you could still write whatever kind of message you wanted to whomever you were giving this to. And then we're going to glue that to the other panel that doesn't have anything on it yet. Now I'm torn. I did mine first one this way. I don't know whether it should go this way. It's entirely up to you. It's kind of a sneaky surprise underneath the base of the card when they open it up. Now the rest is to create the mechanism here to do this piece right here. So I have already cut ahead 3 scalloped circles in Poppy Parade, and I have folded one of them in half. And I have added to the back of it a 3 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4 of an inch piece. It's not that critical, the length of it. You just want to have good. I need to clean my stamp because I'm going to actually, well, no, actually not this one. I need to clean the other one. I'm going to go full strength with the same stamp that I used for the inside. And then I need to clean this one because I'm going to add some Poppy Parade accents to it. And that would be a great way to create your envelope as well. And then we're going to cut this out. I'm just going to bring in the mini Stab and Cut Emboss machine because I don't need a big one. And I'm going to cut out, obviously not the whole thing. dimension texture. I've got a sponge and some Poppy Parade ink, and I'm just going to sponge the edges. And then we're going to adhere that to the Mossy Meadow and the scalloped Poppy Parade circles that we've already joined together. I so want to get this right. Just got to double check what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is going to get glued. Okay, so here's our circle that we folded in half. Okay, it's got, and I've already glued this so I wouldn't mess this up. And then we're going to glue our other circle down here. So let's do that, shall we? And you want to make sure your scallops are going to line up, so you can do that and fold it over so that you've got it like this. And now this circle will get glued to this flap. So we need to add glue here. Try and line them up like that. Now I have gone ahead and cut a circle, same size as the one that I used here, and embossed it with the Ornate Flowers embossing folder. And I'm just going to add, like I did to the other white piece, a bit of Poppy Parade ink on the edges. And we're just going to glue that flat on there. Probably used more glue than I needed to. Okay, and now this will get adhered to the inside of our card base, just like this. Okay, and it's flat, it's not popped up at all. Just there's going to be some movement, so you want to make sure it's well adhered, and you probably want to close it all up and adhere it like that. Okay, now we need to add our greeting here, which is what's going to hold this all in place for us. So just set that back for a second. And I used Best Wishes, and I used Mossy Meadow. And I think, yes, we are done. So I'm going to close up all this ink so I don't have ink everywhere. And I think I just got some on my fingers. So I'm just going to clean them off on the stamp cleaner here. So we'll bring back in our mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. And I have this, I think it's the smallest oval die that we have in the layering ovals. And okay, there we go. That out, and then I've already cut the smallest scalloped out of Mossy Meadow, which I'm going to glue that on. And I'm going to put a couple of large dimensionals on the back of this. This is what will pop it up so that it will hold our little flower feature in place. looks like we need to work these folds just a little bit more. There we go. And there you go. So here's the one that I showed you to start. Sometimes you need to work those folds a little bit just to get it to stay in place. But once you've worked it lots, then they stay really well. So that's what I have for you today. I have another one that I did a while ago, and this one has been worked really, really well, so it stays together. This was done with the Free as a Bird suite that was from last year's catalog. But yeah, so I had centered the birds on there, so it really didn't need any stamping like this last one did, but I embellished these corners a little bit. Had nothing on the inside of this one. There you go. That's a fancy fold for you for today. Thanks for watching. If there is anything that I can get for you, if there's anything that you wish to purchase, please use the host code that is shown on your screen if your order is under $200, and you will be receiving a little something in appreciation from me. Check out my parklandstamper.com webpage for items that will end up in my blog. Last time I didn't get it to save, so I couldn't upload the video. Most of my videos do get uploaded to YouTube, and they'll be there for as long as YouTube lets me leave them there, I guess. But thanks for watching. Happy New Year. See you next week. Bye now.